Hey folks, June 20th, 2026, and today we are going to plant a fig tree. Because my goal is to continue to plant out this area that you see behind me. We're gonna have 36 total in here. We got one Violet de Bordeaux in the corner. That was a different story. But the rest of the 35 other ones, they're gonna be Celeste, and they are all from my own stock that I've been growing out for the past year. And let me show you the plant we're gonna put in today. This, folks, is a 3-gallon Celeste from my own stock. It is pretty healthy. It's got a really nice root system. And I know that because I went to go pick her up this morning and she was actually rooted into the ground underneath her. She did come out of that. Her root ball is nice and dry. And I say nice and dry in a good way because for planting purposes, for these, I've noticed that when the root ball is a bit more damp, when I pull the plant out of the pot, unless it's really, really well rooted, almost root bound, some of the material has a tendency to fall away, but the dry stuff, it seems to be nice and held together. So when I go to pull it out of the pot, I'm gonna be able to place it into the hole and the material is gonna stay together. Okay, I'm in the shade now. No idea if this is gonna show me well standing in the shade, but it's a lot more comfortable, so that's what we're gonna go with. Here's what we're gonna do, and let's start with this. I'm gonna do some things right, and I'm gonna do some things that are probably not so right. So let's go through those. What I'm gonna do right. I think we've got a healthy plant. Ideally, that's what you're putting in the ground. You're not gonna put something sickly in there and hope it gets better. Ideally, you're gonna have something that's healthy and going in. Nothing wrong with trying to give somebody who's kind of in rough shape a good chance, but you should probably temper your expectations because they may be unhealthy for a reason. It might just be they need to get into full sun and some soil, but you never know. So we're starting with healthy stock. Second thing I'm gonna do well is I'm gonna go ahead and amend the hole that I'm gonna dig with both a mix of the topsoil that's gonna come out of the ground, we're gonna look at that in a minute, and homemade compost. So a nice amended hole for these guys to grow in, and that's really good because my soil is gonna be compacted red clay, as you're gonna see when we dig into there, which is gonna give me two things. One, it's gonna give it a bit more of a loamy surface so that the roots can kind of penetrate through a little bit easier, but two, it's gonna hold water in a different capacity than the clay. It's gonna actually help the clay to hold. The clay is going to hold way too much water in general, so we're going to plant this thing up. But what the organic matter is going to do is it's going to sort of keep the clay from over compacting and keeping too much water around the main roots. That's kind of my hope for this. So I think we're going to have a pretty healthy material backfilling the plant. Third thing we're going to do, obviously we're going to water it in well after we finish installing it. And the fourth thing we're going to do, we're going to have a nice big wood chip ring around it, a mulch ring, so that we can do two things. One, I'm hoping that it can, since we're gonna be planting a bit on a downward slope, when we do get rain, it's gonna kind of rush down a little bit as it hits the side of that wood chip ring. Is gonna help slow the water down, maybe penetrate through a bit more. But as the water's coming down also, it's gonna go slower through that wood chip. So it's just slow infiltration into the soil and prevent some runoff. So I think those are the things that we're gonna do well. Now, what are we not doing well? First thing, it's June 20th. It's kind of hot to plant. One thing that's not gonna be too big of an issue should be transplant shock because it's already really well rooted out and we're not gonna break the root ball up at this point. We're gonna put it in as is. So it really wouldn't be any different than if we were just kind of potting it up at this point, which it could really use, but I don't have any 5-gallon pots and I'd rather just get it into the ground at this point. What else are we not gonna do so well? I'm not gonna dig the hole as wide as maybe would be ideal. And the hole is not gonna be as well amended from the overall size of the hole. So ideally the hole you're gonna dig is gonna be much wider than maybe what I'm doing right now. It'll be wider than the pot, but not too significantly wide in any different direction. And that's gonna probably limit the root growth's chance to penetrate through to that clay. It's gonna give it a little less material that's healthy for it to root into, but I don't really feel like trying to dig a huge hole in red clay because I just don't want to. So I think that's probably the things that I'm going to do that are not necessarily going to be putting it in as positive a position going forward. But in a couple of years' time, we're going to see how well this planting method pays off. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the process started. Now, to give you a bit of a walkthrough of what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of that area that I took a string trimmer to, just kind of how I marked my area, and I'm going to go ahead and dig out it as deep as my spade will go with a good solid jump on it, which may be anywhere between 3 to 6 inches. It's kind of hard for me to get through this stuff. The top piece that I'm going to pull out is going to come out almost as an oversized plug. I'm going to take that plug, I'm going to throw it in the wheelbarrow, I'm going to scrape off a lot of the soil from underneath the actual layer that you see right there. So I'll flip it upside down and scrape a lot of the soil off. As I get big clumps, big aggregates, I'm gonna break them up with a 4-pound sledge because I wanna break them up so that I can incorporate the organic matter in that black bucket a little easier. I'm gonna put the plant in there when I have the depth that I'm looking for, which is probably so the root ball is about 2/3 of the way in. We're gonna mix all the material in the wheelbarrow, the topsoil and the potting and the compost, and then we're gonna backfill around it, really hilling up the sides. I'm gonna run and get some wood chip. We're gonna build a ring, not unlike that, for this one, and then we're gonna throw 2 gallons of water on top. And all the while, we're gonna stay hydrated. Safety first. Let's get cracking. Brief interlude. This is my native soil. This spot right here is 50 feet from that garden. This is why I've been doing the no-dig method, because I didn't feel like tilling all of this stuff up in there and trying to incorporate organic matter. This is just a really hard, compacted red clay. So to give you an idea of that, if I've had to grow in this, I think I'm doing okay up there. Through the top dressing process, it's basically an oversized raised bed at this point because I've just got 5 years of organic matter breaking down on it. Not quite planting them the same way in this, but not too far off, because like I said, the plant's root ball is probably going to be about let's call that 9 inches, 6 inches down, 3 inches above this line. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get this thing leveled out a bit, scrape off as much topsoil as I can, mix in the compost, and then we will get the plant in. And there she is. This is number 5 in this row. So in a couple of years, if we're still running this channel, we can take a look and see how this particular one grew out, since you actually observed me installing it in the way that I actually did install it. All right, folks, I need to get to the next 4 now so I can finish this south section of it. Hope you enjoyed what you saw today, and if you did, please feel free to give the video a like. If you want to chat below, feel free to ask whatever questions you want. I think I did a pretty good job explaining my thought process behind this, but if there's anything I missed, go ahead and ask. Happy to respond. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Take care.